everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Camilla.
And today we're taking a look at Seven Wonders Dice. Seven Wonders, one of the biggest games that come out in the past decade. I think it's been almost a decade since it's come out. Then was followed up by Seven Wonders Duel, which is maybe the only sequel to a game that vastly surpassed the original as far as I can tell, at least critically.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely still hitting the table more, I think.
Yeah, that even had a follow-up with the Lord of the Rings Duel on top of that. Well, the roll and write's out now. Seven Wonders Dice. It's actually a little surprising how long this took, in a sense, because you feel like this would have come out earlier.
There used to be that trend of like the dice game came out like 2 years after the original game.
Well, it's out now. So this is actually, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in it. Does it suddenly feel like you're building civilizations just like the first two didn't? Well, no, I love Seven Wonders and Seven Wonders Duel. They're fun. But the theme is ish.
Yeah, it falls away. Right. Yeah.
It's on the artwork on the cards.
Right, very much so.
Well, let's see how this one plays, and we'll be right back. Each player is going to get a pencil and a board, and the boards are slightly asymmetrical. You can see there's some differences here between them. But the game is going to revolve around this little box here with 7 dice in this box. And what you're going to do each round of the game is you're going to shake the box. These bumps on the bottom will roll the dice, and the different dice are going to be in the 4 corners, each with a cost from 0 to 3. Now, on a player's turn, they're going to take one of these dice, and everyone's going to kind of do this simultaneously. You can always take a die and get rid of that die and not use it at all to take 3 coins. And when you take a coin, you circle it, you'll notice that you start with some circled. Otherwise, when you take a coin, you will have to pay the cost of where you take the coin, and you simply do that by crossing these circles off. Beyond that, each space on the board has a cost in resources. If you don't have enough resources, you'll have to pay that many extra coins. So this one costs 2, 3, and this one costs 6 resources. Now, many of the dice will give you a resource. So when I take a resource, I'm going to, show that I have that resource, or circle it to show that I have one resource now. And so the more of these resources you get down here, some of them will actually cost other resources, or again, paying that cost in coins. But let's say I have 3 resources, and I now take this die here. So this one's going to cost me 2 coins to take it. And then since I have 3 resources, an additional coin. But now I have this here, which is going to give me 4 points. Well, actually, it's going to give me 5 points here at the end of the game. So I have to pay the extra coin, the coins for buying the die, and then the blue buildings, as I buy them, I'm going to get points. And if I'm the first person to fill up the whole thing here, I'm going to get an extra 3 points. The market is a good place to get coins. If I take this building here, I'm going to get 7 coins. And sometimes they're going to give you coins based on things that you've built or cost less coins. And so you'll take these buildings. The technology, and this is a little bit different for each person. As I do these technologies, I might get extra bonuses here. This here, for example, says whenever I choose a green die, I'm going to get 2 coins. And this one here means I get to immediately cross off a blue space. And this one says the yellow die always costs 0. But if you get to the end of these technology tracks, there are 3 more dice that can be added. The first person to get to the end is going to take one of the resource dice out and add in the die that they've reached. There's always going to be 7 dice for players to pick from, but eventually, if people reach the end of all the tracks, the 3 resource dice will be out, and these extra dice will be in. So the blue die gets you points, the green die is technology, the yellow die is the market. The red die is going to allow you to build on the 2 outside sections of your board. And these are going to score you points if you have more swords than the person to your left over here and the person to your right over here has shields. So you're trying to stop the other person, I guess, by getting some shields up, but they're going to try to score points by getting swords. You also have a guild cord up here. This can only be done once you get the purple die. You have your Wonder of the World, which you can use any die to do, and these are going to be different based on each of the player boards. So this is another way where the player boards are asymmetric. You have a spot over here that is going to the gallery of leaders, where when you roll this die, you're going to be able to do various things. You get to do extra 2 of a spot in one of the 4 colors on the outside of the board. There's also bonuses at the bottom of the board. The first player to accomplish these will get them. And players are going to continue here until the game end is triggered. Each bonus here, one of them being 7 coins, etc., happens when someone fills in an entire section. When someone has done all 3 sections, then that triggers the end of the game. Then everyone's going to add up all their victory points for each of the different sections on the board, and whoever has the most victory points is the winner of the game. I have 2 very strong thoughts on the components of this. 1, I love the dice tray. Dice tray is awesome. You shake it, they go in the corners, they roll, works beautifully. The pencils, I hate them.
I feel like the other side of it, the wax pencils, right? Yeah. On the dice trays, I do feel like you have to be deliberate in the way you shake it and almost like take it in a circle, because if you're just shaking it to the back and forth, you can kind of feel which side it's on, and you can definitely like kind of sway it. So I have found in my place,
you don't know what it is, though,
swirl
do you?
it. You don't, but you know, like, oh, hey, they're all going to be on that side.
They're all expensive this round.
Right, exactly. And so it's more like just do it in a circle, and 3 circles and let go kind of thing. So you have to be you have to baby it a little bit.
But you like the pencils.
The pencils, I really like wax pencils. I just think that it's going to take away from the longevity of this game.
Not only longevity, more importantly, be careful on your table.
Oh,
because
I didn't have a problem there.
You didn't have any smudging issues, or did have smudging issues?
So we said it. People were playing it at the World Series of Board Gaming
on white tablecloths,
and I know which table they were playing it on.
Oh,
yeah.
Were they using
Horseshoe? It wasn't me.
I did ask, and I say, hey, this is the same material that's like for dry erase markers, right? You can provide your own dry erase. Dry erase always has its own little setbacks. As soon as people start using the fingers to smudge it off, then it gets greasy and whatnot. So I think the good news is, though, you can use dry erase markers from anywhere, and it'll be fine.
And they do work fine, right?
You have to not write top down. You have to write like on the side of the pencil, and then they work very well. But if you write top down, it's going to damage the board, or it's not going to come through as strong. You have a myriad of problems. But if you write on the side, then it works really well. I prefer wet erase anyway. I tend to in all my dice games use wet erase anyway, like these.
Wet erase is great till you make a mistake. Then I'm like,
run to the sink.
Don't make a mistake.
Okay.
Get good.
So, I think Seven Wonders Dice is a pretty easy game to learn and play for gamers. I am very nervous about the resource part. It's not that hard of a rule in a sense. Hey, I got a resource, I take it, I have that resource now. Now when I go to any other spot on the board, it needs 3 resources. I have one of those resources. What's the difference between brick, stone, and whatever? There isn't.
Doesn't matter.
They're 3 different. And so if you're coming from Seven Wonders or Seven Wonders Duel, I think that's going to throw you off, because you'll be like, which one should I get first? Don't matter.
Right.
Well, you should get the one that doesn't cost you coins, probably.
Yeah, it's weird that there's 2 of them that cost you resources, but they're a little bit different for every player board. But anyway, just get free ones early.
Right.
But so that's kind of it's a weird thing to teach people, and then once you understand it, it's very easy. But the other thing is, it takes a little bit out for me in the game, because you have to do it. You have to get resources. Yeah, you can skip and maybe take another tile early in the game. Oh, this one's free, and this building will give me a benefit, like maybe on the tech track or something. But you just got to get resources, because those dice are also going to disappear.
Right. I mean, you have to, but you don't have to get all of them. And I think that's where I'd push back a little bit is you can get 3 of them and be like, you know what? I've got plenty of coins to make up the difference. I'm good right there. So I think that's where I would disagree a little bit. Like, yes, you have to get some of them, but you can just go more into a coin strategy and circumvent that a bit.
It can lead to a weird situation, and I've seen this happen. So let's say stone is the only resource on turn 1 that's in the 0. The rest are in 1s or 2 or whatever. They cost money. Everyone's like, yay, we'll take stone. And the one guy, his stone costs 2. So he's messed over on turn 1 because he could take the stone for 2.
Right, for sure.
Or he could take one of the other resources for 2. That's a minor thing, but it's something I noticed.
It just leads into the randomness of the game. I mean, it is a dice game at the end of the day, and there is a higher randomness, it feels like, in this game compared to other Seven Wonders.
Right, and you can play Seven Wonders, and you can be trying to draft your brick resource, and it never comes your way, right? And so I see the analogs there. I think that's what is interesting about this game is I see a lot of the analogs to Seven Wonders. Oh, the resources go away over the course of the drafting rounds of the card version of it, right? They're replaced by leveled up dice in this one. You know, so there are those things I see. What my concern more so is trying to teach this to someone who doesn't have the experience playing Seven Wonders and explaining the iconography, because I know what almost all the icons in this game meant right away.
Yeah. I have not played a whole lot of Seven Wonders. And so I came into this not having played it for a couple of years even, so and very green, you know, kind of mentally. And funny enough, I picked up on the game quicker than those who came with a big background. And so we were talking to people, a guy who was there who was showing us this game, and he was like, you know, that's what I've noticed is actually the opposite, that if you come with a Seven Wonders background, it is a more difficult teach.
Yes, I'll buy that.
And I thought that was really interesting because I was like, I understand the resources. Okay, fine. You explained it once. I think where I did struggle is understanding all the different zones. Like, what does this zone do again? Like, I just didn't have that thematic connection to anything. And so it felt very much like I was memorizing rules rather than I was like learning the game.
And because you're not using cards with big artwork on them, the theme is shrunk down even more. I'm building a wonder. What wonder am I building? I don't know. I mean, because it's really tiny.
It's tiny in the corner. I did not even realize at first. I was like, oh, everyone's board is different? Oh.
Yeah. I knew that they were different, but I still don't. I mean, other than the resources being a little bit asymmetrical, you know, stuff, I'm like, somehow maybe I still have no idea what wonder I built. There's no theme.
Yeah, the theme is almost gone. Yeah. It's a roll and write. Roll and writes with I think there's maybe 5 that are thematic, right? Yeah. They're generally not. So I'm not actually faulting the game for that. Just go in knowing that. The only other thing, and I want to be clear, I do like the game. All right, I find it enjoyable. But the thing that keeps me from loving it is the game ends when someone fills in 3 whole sections.
Yes.
Right. Someone's going to do it. That's everything in 3 sections. There's only 5 sections, and you're not, unless you're playing very oddly, you're not skipping those sections, likely. So what that means is every game of this, you fill in almost everything. Or not almost everything, but you fill in a ton. At no point playing this was I like, oh man, well next time I play, I'm going to try this. The only thing I would do is like maybe next time I'll do green first. Or I'll try to get all blue. I felt like I was able to do a ton on my first playthrough.
Did you feel like you were able to do everything though?
No, not everything, but more than I feel like I should be able to do.
Okay, got it. So but did you feel like time-wise it also overstayed its welcome, or did you feel time on the table was good?
No, time on the table, I'm very happy with that.
You just accomplished maybe too much in that time.
Maybe. Like, oh, look, I filled in all the blue again. Or I didn't fill in 1 blue. Oh, no, that's a huge difference because everyone else filled it all in. You know what I mean? It's there's a few differences as opposed to, again, the other games in Seven Wonders. I'm only getting 1/5 of the cards. You get what I don't get. Here we can all do the same sort of things.
I think that might be kind of player driven though, because if you have someone that really wants to push that end game, you know, especially in those first couple plays where you are just like, ooh, I'm going to do everything. I'm always going to take the free dice. I'm always going to take, you know, the 1 dice.
Sure.
Then you do end up doing everything because it's the randomness of what the dice are there. But if you're playing, the more you play, as you start to hone in on a strategy, no, I'm going to go to this and really maybe not even drive that end game, but 1 score. I know that I don't want to give opportunities for people to really build up their blue because that's a bunch of points. So I'm going to push this military instead and really get those sections done. You know, something like that. I think that can be player driven.
I think so. I've definitely ended the game and people say, oh, I felt like I had more time going on, you know, compared to last time I played, or people saying like, oh, okay, this one's going a little bit there's a little more breathing room this time. But at the same time, I don't disagree that it feels like you get a lot of the board done.
Yeah, for sure.
The purple guild building, if someone can get that done, you know, with a couple of nice rolls of that purple die once it's in there, that's a whole building that can be done in 3 turns. And so that can end the game quicker as opposed to someone working on the blue building, which has
Right.
8 spots to it. So I think that's the thing. Sometimes you can get caught off guard by the game ending pretty quick.
And especially if they went for that purple one, because then at that point, then they have that die unlocked to be able to do it, which means they probably also have that section done.
Yeah,
So that's probably at least their second building or their second section done, right?
And I don't think it's a weakness. I don't want that to come across as a complaint. I think it's kind of what your point is, that it's very player-driven, how quick that game can end. But there is that small feeling I do have of like, I got a lot done. I don't know, next time I come to it, like, oh yeah, next time I'm going to aim for these levels of improvement. I don't think it's that kind of game.
Yeah. I think if somebody isn't driving that, it can not quite overstay its welcome, but feel like, well, we all got everything done almost. You know?
Now, I will say, positively, everyone picking a die at the same time, the game just flows. The only time someone's doing something by themselves is if they get one of the bonuses. They're like, hang on, I'm doing something extra. Great. Other than that, it's very fast. Everyone's done. Shake the dice. That does mean there's a little bit less player interaction. You're kind of like, oh, wait, Chris has 4 red swords. Oh, I better get on this.
Yeah.
You know, there's some of that. Or, wait a minute, where'd the purple die come from? Oh, you got it and threw it in. I love getting the extra die. Feels great. I wrote, oh, no one else is using that die because you can't? There is the luck is a little stronger. Like Chris said, sometimes you can finish it in 3 turns, or sometimes the same thing's rolled on it 5 times, and I'm like, I'm glad I picked this die. You know,
Right.
It's I finished that section. I can't use it, but I might be putting too much. I gotta be careful. I'm putting too much of the other games in it and putting too much of a heavy gamer in it. If you come into this just light, I think it works really well.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 7. I think it's very enjoyable. It's easy to play, other than that resource thing. But once you get over that little hump of teaching, and again, you only need to play it for 5 minutes. The box is 25 minutes. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yep.
2 to 7. I've not played with 7. I probably won't. Mostly just because seeing the dice from at the other end of the table might be an issue. But that would be my only issue on it. I think it's enjoyable, and it's not as strong as the first 2, in my opinion. Not even close. But I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty close there. I'm coming in at a 7.5. And like I've already said, I don't have as strong of a background in Seven Wonders. And I think, so I looked at this more with a little bit fresher eyes and didn't have some of that background. And I think that did help here. I think either way, though, it's a tricky teach. If you're coming with Seven Wonders, you got to let that go. If you're not coming with Seven Wonders, you have to learn the mechanisms because there's no theme there. You know, you're just memorizing the rules is what it feels like. But that being said, I do find it really enjoyable, and you know, you can play it. I think I agree that 7 would be hard just for visibility's sake, but otherwise I can think of no reason to play this at 7. You know, if you can make it work on your table, or I mean, you can even play it like over Zoom or something like that. You know, I think that this one would work really well with those larger groups, and you just print your sheet instead. So with that, I really enjoy this. I do enjoy exploring, you know, the different buildings and how to power and what do I want to go for early to try to, you know, choke out those resources, but also get that special die for myself. I enjoy it, and it's one that I find myself reaching for more and more to keep exploring. So 7.5 for me. I'm
also at a 7.5. I think, like it, not love it is kind of where I'm at as well. And I think that part of it is that it's too hard to not compare it to Seven Wonders, right? And I've played a lot of Seven Wonders and Duel and Lord of the Rings Duel. And so I think part of the feel that I get from it is that because everything's laid out on your board right away, you get less of that sense of, pun not intended, wonder as you start adding cards to your pool in front of you. And you're like, look at all this stuff that I have that I didn't have before. I think you have to get over that hurdle where I'm just checking off boxes. Oh, it didn't feel like much happened. And you're like, oh, no. I filled in these buildings. I actually did a lot of it. I went leaders heavy this time, and I didn't before. And I think that adds some of the fun and the excitement of it. And it's worth coming back to. But I don't see this one being, for me, as repeat play heavy as some of the other games have been. And I think it's in part because you see it all at the start, and as silly as that is, and that's the way it has to be in a roll and write like this, it doesn't have that feeling of growth. But when you do think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I like what I have done this whole time. I'm happy to play it again. And I would enjoy playing it more.
Well, there you go, folks. That's Seven Wonders Dice coming very soon. From Antoine Baza, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Camilla.
Build your empire. with dice. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.